Well, welcome back to FM Story. In the last episode, we began season 4 of the Glory Hunt to Save, and we left Bayern Munich and joined Man City. We managed to spend almost 400 million in 3 days of the transfer window that we had to spend it, and largely things have started well. We're top of the table. We've won one and drawn one of our opening 2 Champions League games. So, without further ado, let's get into the action. We are at the end of October and we've got a big top of the table Manchester derby coming up at home against Man United. Since the end of the last episode, we've had an exceptional run of games. So we ended the last episode scoring 8 away at Ipswich, and we started this episode scoring 8 at home to Newcastle. Came away with an 8-1 victory there. Musiala with a hat-trick, Haaland with a couple, and really we were able to sort of rest a few players in the second half of that game as well. We then went away to Rennes in the Champions League and hammered them 4-0. We then beat Burnley 3-1 at home, with them getting a late consolation goal. And then we beat Tottenham 4-1 in the Carabao Cup. Pretty comfortable mostly. However, Ederson did decide to quite literally throw one into his own net. Speechless after that one. That actually brought it back to 2-1 at half time, but then Erling Haaland popped up with a couple of goals in the second half to secure the 4-1 victory to see us through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. League-wise, obviously, as we said, we are top. Man United is second. We've got a 4-point advantage, so no matter what happens in this early kickoff on the Saturday, we are going to still be top at the end of the weekend. Erling Haaland, we've actually rested him for a couple of the league games. He's second in the league in goal scorers with 11. Musiala has really hit the ground running as well. But now we turn to the Manchester derby. They look like they've got a couple of injury issues with Rasmus Højlund and Ivan Toney looking like they're out or struggling. But hopefully we can pick up 3 points and continue on our merry way. Well, this is the side we've picked for the Manchester derby. We do have a couple of injury issues. So Alphonso Davies isn't fully fit, so he's on the bench, and Matheus Nunes failed a fitness test, so he's not involved either. With Davies not being playing, that means that Rico Lewis has switched over to left back, and Jan Couto is playing a right back, and we've gone with John Stones and Ruben Diaz as the central defensive pair. We have actually tweaked the formation from when we first started with Man City. We were playing with 2 out-and-out wide players. We moved the 2 wide players in behind Haaland. It seems to have worked in recent weeks. Hopefully it works in this game and we can maybe overrun them in the middle of the pitch. But it's a local derby, anything can happen. All right, free kick for us, Foden to Lewis on the edge of the box. They allowed him to run from 5-10 yards outside the box to the edge of the box, and he's fired that into the bottom corner. And that is the perfect start that we were looking for. Foden just rolls it into Lewis, no one anywhere near him, gets into the box and just fires it low past Onana into the corner. Right, Jan Couto with a corner. Haaland gets his head on it, hits the woodwork and goes behind for a goal kick. So, unfortunately, Foden's picked up a knock, so he's gone off. Guendouzi's come on and we've pushed Bernardo Silva forward to where Foden was. Stones on the right-hand side here finds Jan Couto. Rodri drifts past his man all the way across to Lewis. He comes into the box to Bernardo Silva, and a big deflection of Mark He takes it behind for a corner. Bernardo Silva to take from this right-hand side. Lifts it towards the far post. Onana punches. We've still got it Couto to Bernardo Silva. He's giving it away, and they've just launched it up the field. Right, Lewis with the throw. Bernardo Silva to Ruben Diaz. John Stones into Rodri, out to Couto with space, goes past his man, across to the back post. Haaland's header. Onana just about keeps it out. It's still alive there. And now Anthony brings it away for them. But Bernardo Silva gets back and wins it. Guendouzi looking for Oscar Bob, but it's been picked up by Gehi at the back. And there we go, half-time, 1-0 up. They've not really troubled us, but we could do with getting at least another, just to give us a bit of a cushion. Right, so we made a few more substitutions just to get some fresh legs on the pitch, especially in the midfield area. Right, corner for them. Bruno Fernandes swings it in. Stones gets his head to it. It's been cleared as far as Sancho. Mainu. Haaland gets back to head it back to Edison, and hopefully he doesn't throw it into his own net like he did in the last game. Couto to Stones. Swings it out wide on the left to Alphonso Davies. He goes forward to Bernardo Silva. It runs for Haaland. He got there before Onana and just lifts it over the bar. Right, we made our final change. We've brought Vardiol on for Musiala and shifted everyone about a bit. Alphonso Davies with a throw for us. Kovacic again, drifting into the box. And Onana turns it behind for a corner. Bernardo Silva to take. Goes towards the far post. It's headed clear. Haaland is the one chasing back to get the ball back. Now Alphonso Davies coming down the left-hand side. Crosses to the back post. Haaland gets his head on it, but can't keep it on target. Right, another corner. Bernardo Silva again towards the far post. This time Gvardiol gets up, powers the header past Onana, and gives us another goal. I mean, I did have concerns given how many chances we'd had and we hadn't got that second goal that they were going to nick one, but Gvardiol gets up at the back post, powers it past Onana, and there we go, full time, 2-0. Really dominant performance. They only had one shot on target in the whole game. And things are going well in our quest for the Premier League title. We're now deep into November and we've played a couple of games since the league game against Man United, and we've now got a trip back to Munich in the Champions League. We started after the Man United game by beating Juventus 1-0 away from home. Kovacic with a late goal after Doku had missed a penalty in the first half. And then the Norwich game started with a bang. We scored in under a minute. Erling Haaland scored in the 4th minute. Ruben Diaz was sent off in the 5th minute. And then Josh Sargent scored in the 13th minute. In the end, it finished 7-4. They, I think, had 2 goals disallowed. Erling Haaland finished with 5 goals for us. It was just a wild game. And then in the most recent league game, we left it late, but came away with a 3-0 victory away against Fulham. 2 goals from Phil Foden, 1 from Erling Haaland, but unfortunately, he's picked up a knock and is out for a couple of weeks. So we are still top of the table. We're 5 points clear of Chelsea, 7 points clear of Man United and Tottenham. And now for this trip to Bayern Munich, who replaced me with Luis Enrique. And obviously, we went back to them and took Musiala and Alphonso Davies away for very, very inflated transfer fees. They've also sold Kim Min-jae. And then they've signed some players for quite a lot. Calafiori, Martel, Marmol. Hopefully, we're still going to have enough, even without our Erling Haaland, to be able to come away with a victory in this Champions League game. So this is the starting lineup we've selected for our return to Munich. Obviously, with Haaland out injured, we've put Musiala through the middle with Bob and Foden off him. Bernardo Silva struggling a bit fitness-wise. He's on the bench to come on if we need him. Same with Rodri as well. Obviously, they've got a very strong team that we put a lot of together. But hopefully we've got enough to come out on top. So they're going with a 4-3-3 that we obviously deployed quite successfully most of the time with them. Right, so we've already been forced into one change with Rico Lewis picking up a knock and Jan Kutel's come on at right back. And we end the half with Alphonso Davies picking up an injury. And there we go, half-time, no highlights, 0-0, and just not very good. And us struggling fitness-wise with players as well. Foden was struggling fitness-wise, so he's come off at half-time. Bernardo Silva's come on to replace him. And Jan Kutel into Guendouzi. He gives the ball away. Now Luis Diaz is in acres of space down this left-hand side for them. Guendouzi gets across to win it. Kutel down the line. But it's just going to come back at us again. Mazraoui wide to Sané. Goes past Doyle. And luckily Edison turns it over for a corner. We need to suddenly get a bit better here. Sané with the corner. And it's headed home by Eric Martel. And that's not the start to the second half that we were looking for. Just float it into the near post. Martel gets the run on everyone. Flicked header in off the far post. And that's 1-0. Right, another corner for them from that right-hand side. Sané to take again. Again, aimed for the near post. This time we get a head on it. Martel, though, finds Sané again. Back to Martel. The shot's blocked. We've kind of half cleared it. Stanisic looking for Sané. I mean, Matisse Tel must have been offside there, surely. And he was. Thank God for that. So the ball comes to Sané and he's well offside. Thankfully, Sané has just gone off though. And Jamal, short to Goretzka. Stanisic goes down the line to Brian Zaragoza. Stands it up to the back post. And luckily that was easy for Edison. Long throw to Doyle. Bernardo Silva, Jones, Bob over the top for Musiala. And Mike Mannion turns it behind for a corner. Bernardo Silva's across to take it. Goes towards the back post. And they've managed to clear it. Jan Kutel to Kovacic. Rodri loses out. And we've just stood there twice and let them get the ball. Kutel gets back. Rodri into Bernardo Silva. Oscar Bob just runs into trouble. And now the game's just opening up for them. Pulled back. And Goretzka gets the goal and puts them 2-0 up. It's just pull back. It's actually a decent finish in the end, but we're losing the ball in stupid positions and then there's loads of space behind us. Right, Bob, infield, Bernardo Silva, bring it forward. Rodri into Bernardo Silva, but he drags the shot wide of the post. Right, Jan Kutel, Bob again. And again, he just run off the ball. The one issue with this Man City team, and I did think it in when we first took over, which is why we did try to sign Matisse Tel. Bernardo Silva, it's the bar. The big issue, and the reason why we did try to sign Matisse Tel, is that if something happens to Haaland, there's no focal point to the team. So I think come January we may be looking for maybe a young centre forward that we can mould behind Haaland, an out-and-out striker, but that was a pretty dismal performance. We've lost 2-0 on our return to Munich, and we need to be much better than that going forward this season. And there we are, the end of another episode. Things are largely going really well. Unfortunately, we've ended it on a bit of a downer with that disappointing return to Munich. But mostly, we've been playing well. We're scoring lots of goals. Hopefully, we can continue that on for the rest of the season. Come close to winning the Premier League or the Champions League this season. Or even pick up one or both of those trophies. Coming up in the next episode, we've got a lot of games in December and January. We've got some big games as well. We've got Tottenham coming up next in the league. We've got Liverpool coming up as well. So some big games. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.